What is going on, online world of the universe, youtube.com and everything and everybody? So, I haven't uploaded yet, but I'm going to. Yes, I made a mistake. I also, however, in my defense, I'm mind controlled. That should be plenty enough already. But I have, what do you call it? I go to the VA hospital and get medication for my depression and whatnot, and quote schizophrenia apparently. And which is mind control, obviously, with schizophrenia at least. So I'm on hardcore medication at the maximum dosages for at least one medicine, paliperidone, is that what it's called? Antipsychotics. I'm also on risperidone as well, and so on and so forth. And so my defense here is I am a mind controlled victim for 10 years where people go homicidal or suicidal. I was suicidal and homicidal like a normal person would be for some times without much success regarding suicide at least. But homicide I tried not to, as I didn't want to go to prison for life or a mental hospital, obviously, as I would be labeled insane or something like that. Or prison for life, either or, obviously. Prison would have been worse because I've been there and it sucked. Jail, that is. A little more lenient prisoners than jail, in my opinion. I've never been to prison, but that's my guess because you're staying there for longer, for a much longer time than jail. So, more classes and stuff like that I, would be in and just being bored basically and being stuck. And what else is there? Yeah. So my defenses, I was in the military with a disability of quote schizophrenia and depression and all these things, and I go to the VA and take my medicine for these quote what doctors have labeled me as, and according to my failure of a lawyer basically that I had back in Front Royal to get my puppies back, that I brought my dog tags with me to to court, Front Royal General District Court I think, or something like that. And they took my puppies for whatever reason it was. I can't remember at the moment. My German Shepherd, I believe, if I remember correctly. Or 2 more dogs, maybe? I can't remember. Oh, I think now I remember. Yes, so I called the FBI and I called her the B word, basically, because I was infuriated due to torment. And I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? You guys aren't doing your jobs. I'm a citizen. I'm a civilian and a veteran, basically, tormented day and night. And you guys are not doing the job. You guys are, useless basically, and those kind of things. And then they said, they were like, "Are you suicide or something like that?" And I said, I didn't say I don't know what I said honestly, but something that obviously made them to come to my house, for those reasons. And then there's like 6 or 7 or more police officers in Front Royal, and they waited like literally all morning. That's what I remember, as they were with the microphone or something. "Mr. Kim, we'd like to talk to you." And I'm like, get the fuck out of here, And then basically, then they, kicked down my door, I think, possibly. I think so. That's the only way, as I locked everything, obviously. So they kicked down the door is what I possibly remember. And then they were there, and I was just so tormented and numb in the brain. When you're tortured and you want to kill people and you don't do it basically, and don't even take medicine for that, or therapists, or any other ways to kind of let out your suffering, or torment basically, you can't really talk, it's not easy. And your brain is kind of just gone basically, like a zombie or something to it. And then they came. Oh yeah, there's a lot of people here, not a lot of people, but some people here in this school on Sundays has to do the gang stalking as usual. When school is not even open, first of all, as in classes starting. But anyways, with the story, they were asking me questions. I didn't say anything, because I was fed up and tired of the police constantly being brought up due to gang stalking, obviously. And they said, "Hey, miss, if you don't talk, we're gonna take away the dogs." And then I didn't say anything still. And then in the end, they took it away. And then I came out of the hospital or something like that, as they took me to the mental hospital. And then when I got released, I went up to get my went to court to, get my dogs. I thought, bringing the dog tag, something would happen, obviously, as they, USA, supports troops, obviously, as I'm a veteran and everything. And then for service animals that I was going to make them as, due to my schizophrenia and so on, or mind control, or, all this PTSD and all this kind of stuff, obviously, from constant trauma and torment. And then, so, as that happened, and then this lawyer on the side was like, hey, your honor, this is wrong and he should be getting his dogs back or something like that. And I'm like, oh wow, for once a miracle, And then I was thinking, I was going to actually get my dog puppies back, but it totally failed, obviously. So days were going on, mind control still activating based on my thought kind of nonsense and all these horrible things. I go to Virginia Beach as I was just exhausted and needed some kind of space to kind of heal. Unfortunately, didn't really feel the healing there. But I was just laying down on the sand and smoking a cigarette and whatnot. And then the attorney, the fucking hopeless attorney, basically, he calls me and he's like, hey, you know what, on paper, Mr. Kim, you're labeled crazy. You're crazy, man. And I'm like, wow, that's just a very professional way, you're doing your job, as an attorney, That's what I was probably thinking that day, but I didn't say it because I was just drained from all this nonsense, basically. So anyways, yeah. That's how my puppies got taken from Front Royal. I don't know why I came up with the story just now with the FBI and stuff like that. I have no idea, but those are the things that happened years ago. This was like in 2016 plus, basically, as we're way, years now to 2025. So yeah, I was yelling at the trooper because he was touching my car. This is the gang stalkers will do that. Not gang stalkers or mind control, and gang stalking is what I meant. They would, do every little thing that would agitate you, Like, don't touch my car, It's like, why are you touching my car, You can talk to me, and I'll hear what you gotta say, but don't touch my car, Cops or anybody, basically. And then they would on purpose to see if, what you would say. And basically with this torment, how heinous and evil it is, they do so much wicked things to you, basically, at first, that just destroys you as a human being, spiritually, mentally, physically, every way possible, basically. And then they will do stuff like touching your car and stuff like that to aggravate you or not aggravate you, because even though you value those things, like personal space and all those things, you just don't care anymore. You're just numb to the world, basically. And then they will basically see or continuously, I forgot what I was exactly going to say. There was something to it. When you're numb, you went through the hell, basically, the trauma and all the wickedness, and then, your mind is broken, so, like, it doesn't matter, you're hopeless, basically, And then they basically do these things to you, and yeah. But anyways, those kind of things happened, and I don't know what the story with the FBI and the police officers in my house back then of Cindy's ways, and my animals, my dog families, and yeah, I don't know why, but because I had dog in Korea, every time I mention dog, it sounds like, that they're my meal, basically, or some kind of nonsense, especially domesticated animals like dogs that, a man's best friend, versus street dogs in Korea that you can eat, something to it, that is, which was different nature, different, what do you call it, countries, and obviously different kind of, ways. So anyways, with that being said, what's the story? Yeah, the trooper was getting close to me, touching my vehicle, my Mercedes, and then saying that you were in the wrong, basically, you cannot be here on the left lane, you only use it to pass lanes and whatnot that I didn't know about. I've heard of those laws before, but I just didn't know when or where exactly, and stuff like that, basically. And I never thought that would actually be like that, literally, like, left lane, basically, kind of thing, entirely, but I've heard of something to it, is what I remember. And then I was like, oh, you know, and then I was in the wrong too, but he was also in the wrong that he got in my personal space and everything. You know, obviously as a police officer, they got to keep professionalism and everything, obviously, you know. But other than that, yes, my defense has already explained it, is why I yelled at the trooper, and that was all there is, you know. Yeah. So I'm not really in the wrong due to all the things I went through, in my honest opinion, you know. If the truth comes out and they see what Daniel Chungo Kim went through literally from head to toe, spiritually, mentally, physically for 10 plus years, I am literally, like the voice of God says, retired literally from every kind of law and everything, you know. After 10 plus years of what I went through, this kind of wickedness. Yeah, so I think with that kind of logic, now I don't feel too bad that I yelled at the trooper as if I was in the wrong entirely or something to it. And then that douchebag, the insurance guy, Kim Jong-soo or whatever the fuck his retarded name is, calls my dad, you know, when all I was asking is for my insurance, right? So he's like, oh, it's a Sunday and the place is not open. Like, are you kidding me? We paid you like $900 already for this thing. And how hard is it to open up your computer or something and print out that thing and then send it to me or something like that, you know? And so, yeah, that's the kind of stuff happened. And I don't know why this person that's walking by is like staring at me literally. That was kind of really rude and awkward, in my opinion, obviously. But anyways, with that being said, the Kim Jong-soo person, he basically says, you know, he's not ready or whatever with the stuff, and I already knew with this gang stalking, he was gonna alert my dad regarding it to cause these kind of problems, and you know, and then this is what happens. He calls me, right? So everything gets resolved, and the trooper says I can go, you know, with the warning and all these things, and I said thank you and all that stuff, obviously, basically, you know, or whatever, and then after that. My dad calls me because of the Kim Jong-soo person, you know, the insurance guy. That's a Korean dude as well. That's a failure, in my opinion, as an insurance person. I think, you know, not really professional like that, you know, and just smooth and ready with all these kind of things, basically. So then he calls my dad for some weird ass reason, honestly, or not. Actually, what am I saying? I'm not. Let me rephrase what I just said. So. Kim Jong-soo guy basically talked to my dad, and my dad paid for the insurance, and my dad is the one with the insurance card, and then he placed it inside the middle of the front, you know, the middle of the front where you put the insurance, basically the insurance card. And my dad apparently said he told me numerous times regarding it, but due to ECT, I can't remember half the things I say, and then things happening basically as well. But electronic convulsive therapy from the VA that I already talked about numerous times. But anyways, with that being said, my dad calls me. He's like, oh my God, you cannot drive. You got to come home right now, you know? Like, I'm like, oh my God, what? Over a warning, honestly? Like, are you fucking kidding me, you know? Over a warning with the trooper? And then the laughable, ironic, coincidental part here. My dad also has I don't know why the voice of God is telling me not to say it. You know, it's really sad, honestly. Why can't I say it? The fuck? Why can't I say it, you know? So with that being said, as I'm tortured every day like this, because when I speak the truth and stuff, it's good, but also some kind of nonsense, basically. So my dad, he also got a ticket too, driving in the shoulder where only emergency vehicles can go, you know, that kind of irony, basically. He got a ticket last year in September is what I just saw. And then he gets it and it's all okay, but if his son gets it, you know, a warning too, basically, you know, over left lane usage, you know, not a huge deal, honestly. You can make a mistake like that. It's not a big deal, right? It's not really a big deal in my opinion, you know. I would say what my dad got a ticket of is worse than what I got, you know, what I got in my honest opinion. Emergency side, where only, you know, emergency vehicles like paramedics and whatnot, you know, emergency vehicles should only go on, is way more important than getting a ticket for, not passing the left, the right lane, basically using the left lane. So my dad got something, worse than I did, and then he's making a huge drama situation out of it. And so I said, okay, you know what? I'm tired. You know what? I'm not gonna go home. I'm gonna leave the house. You can have your stinking Mercedes back. And he's like, oh, Korea, this and that tomorrow and whatever. You shouldn't go and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, I don't really care. I don't have to go to Korea. I can go whenever I want. I get my own money and everything, obviously, for being a veteran and all that. So, I'm 35. I'm not a kid anymore. So I have these freedom, obviously, and I earned it, obviously, in the U.S. Armed Forces, honorably discharged and everything. So, that's what happened, guys. Yeah, it's too much drama, right? But I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of drama. Hopefully it doesn't happen too much, this kind of headachy drama, that is. Hopefully nothing but a good drama, from now on. Is the hope. Whew, that was tough. With the 2 girls, 1 cup story, in the Buddhist temple, and that one kid, was making a huge fuss about it, honestly, over that. Like, are you serious? Like, that's not even a big deal, honestly. It's like talking about porno, basically, in the temple, and being like, hey, this kind of stuff is online, it pops up basically on the PC, and it's just horrible, and then it's like, what? Oh my God, it's so disgusting. You're damaging my innocence, or some retarded shit like that, So fucking stupid, in my opinion. But anyways, those kind of stupid crap has happened. Whew. I try to think. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not a holy person yet, I meant. And also, when I think it's like, oh my God, saying bad words, it's not really good still. But, I would think of my friend Raffy Taffy, the OG ASMR artist, kind of feels he would curse too. So it's like, he has more subscribers, way more subscribers than I. So I think I'm all right, Good thing Mr. Beast doesn't curses. I don't think he does. Or PewDiePie, maybe? I don't know if PewDiePie curses, but... But anyways... Yep, so I'm here. Hopefully the 5 hours will calm my dad down at home. I really want to live on my own. This kind of crap is really annoying, It's like, I've learned my lessons, and don't ever call the cops, basically, when you're having the crisis. And if you can manage those situations through 988 and Veterans on the Horizon, therapists, the calls, basically, when the therapists are only for like specific dates, as I don't have health insurance, sadly, as my life is kind of ruined for 10 plus years. As I tried to, I didn't tell this story yet. In South Korea, I'm trying to go to a mental hospital, preparing and being smart about it. Trying to go to the best mental hospital in South Korea, and obviously, you need what? Health insurance, right? So I called the health insurance company, like, what do you call it? Aetna and those kind of awesome companies, basically. I don't know why the Kim Jong-soo failure just appeared, I think. But anyways, the Aetna and all these nice companies, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and the list goes on. I contacted them, and they were like, their numbers were like in Europe or something, possibly, if I'm right with that. When it's an American company, I think, if I'm right with that again. And so, if I remember correctly, I called them regardless, if it was Europe or America. Probably America, I could be wrong with Europe, maybe. But I remember getting a call from them in a European phone number, is what I remember. With the European accent and everything. Yes. And then so I'm like desperate. My mind is like traumatized, like tormented, needed mercy, help, every kind of, savings I can get, literally. My mind I was thin as hell, and just like really just gone, basically, And so I was like, let's go to the mental hospital. That's a smart thing to do. And it didn't work out. I don't know what the reason was. Maybe my credit score or something. I don't know what you need really to get a basic, health insurance like that. When I made, disability money and whatnot from the VA, so that would have covered the funds. So I don't know what the reasons were, if I'm correct with that. I was making $3,700 or $4,700 with, you know, SSI and whatnot, you know, if I'm right with that, which was a few years ago. I think so. That's when I got paid that kind of amount of money. But anyways, so it didn't work out. Then I'm just like talking to myself, soliloquy, or whatever you call it, all day, and I'm tortured, and just like, you know, the anxiety crap that I talked about, that kind of fear basically happens like nonstop, and like, what is it, the heat thing that, you know, basically burns everything around you and just scares you with the anxiety combo through the switch of a button, through the mind basically. And so I'm just like, you know, in my Lord's mercy as usual. And then thankfully, even though it was way late, my dad signs me up to go to the mental hospital in Korea. Not the best, but it was still all right, I guess. The food was pretty good, but the mind control was obviously happening there too, badly as well. I almost got, you know, attacked when I was taking a shower. Some other guy comes in, he's like, "Can I take a shower here too?" And I'm like, "The hell," you know. And then so anyways, and then I don't know what I said, but almost possibly got into a fight. I'm like that, what is that movie called yesterday that I watched? What is it called? The story, the movie about taking a pill and then it makes you smart as hell basically, where Bradley Cooper and the other actor, I can't remember his name, but you know, where it makes you into genius for a few hours and you got to take it again and again basically, and whatever. Now I can't remember what I'm trying to say due to mind control again. So what was I talking about? I can't remember the story. Something with the medicine, the pill that makes you into a genius. So we'll come back at it when we remember, possibly, or when I remember, or something like that. But with that being said, I finally get to go to the mental hospital in Korea. It's all, you know, kind of eerie at first due to mind control. Oh yeah, it was definitely eerie. What happened is, and this is the weirdest thing, that with the mental hospital, they put you in a cell, literally, in a mental hospital, you know. They literally put you in a cell room. And so I'm there, right? I see Charmander crying because I used to have a Charmander doll, and that was my favorite Pokemon after Pikachu or so. And so on and so forth. For the people that know what Pokemon is, obviously, the Japanese animal monsters, or what they call it, card games and Game Boys and so on and so forth. Back in the good old times of 1999, when I was like in 3rd grade, is when I remember. But with that being said, I'm there, and then like I vision and see through the walls where these guys are, these you know, people. But they were like all like freaks, literally, like demons or some kind of like excuse my language, possibly, if they weren't freaks, but they look like demons or monsters basically. And I was kind of like frightened, obviously. It's like a jail, first of all, eerie nonsense going on, people not being who they normally are due to mind control, and then that kind of crap on top of that. And then thankfully they disappeared when I got out, released from the jail area to the main rooms and the mental hospital, basically the mental hospital rooms, that is, you know, the living room and all those kind of things. And the nice thing about that place, though, that I remember, was food was nice. They give you all you can eat, basically, like a buffet every time. That was nice. They could improve in the showering room, though. It's kind of crummy, honestly. It's like it's like old school, where they pour the water and then you gotta use it, basically, you know, the bucket or whatnot. And so, anyways, that's what happened. And what else is there? They got a ping pong table, which was pretty awesome. Coffee and all that stuff, which is great. Cigarettes on top of that in a mental hospital, you know. The only cigarettes that I could smoke was back in California, is what I remember. But this hospital has one in Korea, is what I saw. Yeah, whatever. But anyways, that kind of stuff has happened as well. And what else is there in the hospital? I met some cool dude that as I was kind of like avoiding people due to the numbness and just trying to get better first, due to my torment, basically. This one guy that was 1 year my senior, he's like 200 pounds, is what I remember, or so. And he was like talking to me first, and I was like, hey, I finally talked to him, and we were kind of cool at first, but then eventually, due to gang stalking, it's my obvious guess. The voice of God said yes. So yep, once again, friendship ruined. Like Kim Wong-gu as well and everything. And even Shio, even though he clearly sees that I friend requested him on Facebook, he wouldn't say anything. And we were buddies for sure. We ate at the Korean restaurant back then in Virginia a few times together, Korean barbecue, and just hung out and played basketball, soccer together, and church kind of stuff together, and all these things together, IHOP as well and whatnot. But anyways, with that being said, yeah, so this Korean guy in the mental hospital, he talks to me, I forgot what he talked to me about, but then they were making some kind of deals, the AI mind control nonsense again, through me and the guy, basically. And oh man, I remember this kind of crap. It was that kind of anxiety causing, like as if the place is gonna literally, melt basically through the heat, the heat wave basically, and then combo with anxiety, fear basically. It will feel like that every time I especially went upstairs to go smoke a cigarette, and that kind of, fear tactic on purpose because you're addicted to cigarettes, tobacco or nicotine, I meant, and then you can't stop, I already explained this on my other video. They literally show like a penis kind of thing, kind of wording that is, when you're sucking or whatever, giving a blowjob or whatever nonsense, basically. Para is whatever, they some kind of nonsense they said, through remote neural monitoring. Please research these things. I'm so tired of explaining everything, though, at the moment, at least, with all the stuff that has happened today. With the Buddhist kind of BS today, and then a trooper on top of that, then my dad and that Kim Jong-soo nonsense, the insurance guy. On top of juggling all this mind control bullshit, So anyways, with that being said, yes, that hospital, that kind of stuff has happened. And then I was really irritated. I hope that I didn't do too much damage to the doctor, the male doctor there, due to just thinking negatively like a normal human, for not letting me out, basically. And so when each and every time he pulled down the mask, he looked like a monster, literally, and I was like, dang. But anyways, I'm there for a reason, obviously, to get help, So I know this might be some kind of evil, maybe, if you can. I don't know what you're supposed to do, when you're really needing help, like, and thinking all kinds of negative thoughts like a normal fucking human would, and then possibly knowing that if you think negatively to like the Mr. Beast friend that turned into a tranny, or my dad into a tranny, the AIs that are, not the AIs that are, the Mr. Beast's actual real friend turned into a tranny because these perps were finding it fun and making, me like the guilt, like making me have a guilty conscience or something for having a thought process, You can hate a person, that's normal, that's totally fine, That's normal. There's nothing wrong with that. Even that guy would agree, Mr. Beast's friend or anybody, if you're, truthful, We can't all be like, Jesus here, Jesus is a God, We're humans. So anyways, with that being said, the hospital is what happened, as I was hoping for. And I went with my aunt to the best hospitals in Korea, Seoul National University, I think, or what is it? Not Hongik, that's a city where you can party and whatever, but not that place. What is that place called? What is that city? Not Daegu or Daehanmin국 or something. I can't remember. That means South Korea, but I don't remember. It's like one of the top. I almost remembered. One of the top hospitals in Korea. But anyways, I tried those hospitals and I didn't have insurance, so I called my grandma's sister. She said she would cover me at first. and then to go to the emergency way, which I should have just taken it, and then been in a much happier and a better place, you know, even if I owe her debt, you know. But for some reason I did not accept that for some reason. And then eventually when I asked again, when I changed my mind, she said no for some weird reason. Or not some weird reason, it just maybe because of mind control. But yeah, that's the story, and that's what happened. And yep, in that jail, that's what happened. Or not the jail I meant, I get confused. But mental hospital I meant. And one time I was like freaking out because we were getting coronavirus shots. You know, I thought it was injections, you know, for antipsychotics. I was actually not taking the meds, you know, due to the side effects. I would hide it in my mouth area, like where my dip is, like right here, you know, or like right here or something like that. For some time, they didn't catch it, and then eventually they found one of the nurses or whatever, found out, and he's like pulling my lower lip, kind of aggravating me on purpose, you know. Like this whole time, I don't know how I do it. It's just abuse after abuse, and your brain just kind of melts, you know. Don't know how to fight back or strike back, basically. You know, that's what happened. Otherwise, I would have probably, like Batman, threw them around, you know, if I had the weight on, obviously, and everything. So with that being said, that's what happened in that what do you call it, mental hospital. Met some other kid that apparently kicked his dad, and I was like, damn. After all this wrongdoing, you know, just like today over a little, what is it, a warning, you know, when he also got a warning that is worse than my situation, makes it a huge fucking deal out of it, you know. We can't always say because of mind control, can we? Yeah, I think so. I was just kind of thinking, you know, kind of just irritated here. But if I'm saying mind control is happening to me, obviously my family is going through it, you know, my dad and all that on purpose, so I can commit homicide or some horrible things, which I am perfect at handling. Hopefully I don't jinx that for saying that, and the little gay gang stalkers come at me, you know, just chop them in the head, you know. But anyways, that's what happened. And the lower floor of that building, apparently the cool thing is, if your parents sign you off, then you can go out. So you can go out and have the roof over your head, doctors and nurses watching over you, which is great, you know, with medicine. That actually does help, you know, that I just didn't, you know. Man, this gang stalking crap is so annoying. Holy fuck, I keep seeing, like, people that you know, over and over. Whew. So with that being said, yes, the lower floor, if your parents sign you off, then you can go outside and come right back in. And if you cause a problem, then the parents that signed you off are responsible, and then they'll get arrested and go to jail or something like that. That's my obvious guess, if they can't pay for the damages and whatnot, and those kind of things, obviously. And yeah, I thought that was you know, an awesome part of that hospital kind of thing, you know, versus all the hospitals I've been in numerous ones in the U.S. Obviously. What is it, McLean or something? That's like the #1 psychiatric hospital. So I went to the top one. John Hopkins is one of them, apparently. Normally it is for normal people, but people like me, it's like hell, literally. The second and third time or whatever is just useless, basically. Kind of feels. At first it was, yeah, I remember the first time I went there. It was really nice, quiet, radio on at a certain hour. They have like sandwiches that are like Subway kind of feels or something to it, you know, much better than normal mental hospital foods or something like that. Yeah, that's there's a reason why they're in the top, you know, of the mental hospitals. And then I was like, okay, I've been tortured, let's take a vacation and you know, call up, you know, the #1 in the U.S., McLean or something like that, in Massachusetts, I believe. And then I called them, and then their phone number was 1337 at the ending 4 on purpose, because I wanted to change my phone number to that. And then it means elite, basically, in online kind of language. And then I called them, and then they said you got to be a citizen or a what do you call it? A citizen of their state, or not a citizen of their state. What do you call it? resident. There you go, resident of the state of Massachusetts. If I got that right, as I'm mind erased right now. Not because of ECT, because of mind control. They make you feel it basically after 10 years. You just know basically. But I think it's residents. Yeah, is what happened. And so I was like, for reals? Like, what is this gang stalking? The 1337 number, and then it seemed like online the reviews there were people that went to the hospital that weren't residents of that hospital, Massachusetts or McLean or something like that, number one, whichever it is. And then I was gonna fly down there and just like stay there for months and then get better basically. Eventually I will get better, but there's a what's the faster way? The faster way is doing what I do basically, something to it. Spend your time, mindfulness, Buddhism, chanting, prayers, obviously, reading good, verses, whichever is your favorite on the Bible, for example, or Buddhist books or whatever, And then, I spend my time vlogging like now. And then obviously medicine and therapists and hotlines that help you with trauma, basically, like 988 and Vets for Warriors. And continuously doing these things is how you can do it. But then when you're in that situation like I have been, in the extreme low basically, I don't think these things will be able to save you. If you're doing all these things and that kind of stuff happens, you need to go to the mental hospital. It's my obvious guess. Go to the mental hospital, just chill there. It's kind of boring, you can't go out for most hospitals. Just hope that you go to a decent hospital, or a good one, obviously, like John Hopkins, possibly, if that place is good now. When I went there, the gang stalking, the cars were everywhere. It was crazy. But go to John Hopkins or McLean or whatever, that are known for their, medicine and their environment and everything, and live there for a good, 3 months or more, possibly, until you feel that you're ready to come out again. And then worst case scenario, you use the same thing, therapist, medicine, and all those things. And if it doesn't work out, you go right back there again. And then, hopefully you learn some kind of new strategy, basically. It is my idea, and I'm sure that is the way to go, But most likely, now that I've learned the 988 and Vets for Warriors and antipsychotics medicine and what else is there, prayers and meditation and mindfulness and Zen on top of that, basically, that I may go to possibly, for the Buddhist thing instead of the one that I went to. Because for Zen is especially for trauma, basically, and the other guy, the Jason guy that I met today, he said this one is like close to church, basically, like Christianity, church, that is, and like it's to make you feel good. It's still a win, I thought, to make you feel good, obviously, instead of feeling miserable. So, but I rather focus on the Zen, obviously, where you're healing, basically, from trauma, like now, like I'm seeing with the mom nonsense again, all that kind of garbage. So I think, logically speaking, the Zen Buddha is the way to go for people like me or any other people that are tormented, So those kind of things. And what else is there? That's about it. Yep, that was fun today with a trooper and that weirdo from that Buddhist temple. I still don't see it being really bad, honestly. So vlogging is totally fine in with the laws of the U.S. You can video camera anyone and anybody and anywhere, basically. And so that I was not in the wrong. I was filming, and I talked about 2 girls, 1 cup that even that Jason guy knew, and I wasn't saying anything explicit, where they were, pooping out from their butthole and all that kind of nonsense, I didn't say that much, you know. I just said they were eating poop basically while naked, you know. That was the video. So what's so wrong about vlogging that, you know, in the temple basically, where Buddha understands these, you know, things basically. And you know, even if I were being immature and then said, you know, pooping under their butthole and eating it and all kinds of nonsense, you know, Buddha would definitely understand that, you know. A, because I'm actually tortured to death, and B, you know, it's just, you know, just being childish. You know, I'm sure Buddha also goofed around and stuff, possibly. It's my guess, you know. He wasn't serious all day, you know. It's my guess. But anyways, that is what happened. And then, you know, this kind of tragic moment and day of frustrations, I have to still go home and face my dad. Hopefully he calms down and feels better and doesn't make a huge scene over a simple traffic ticket, or not a ticket, a warning actually, where it wasn't even a ticket. And I really hope this Kim Jong-soo guy can rot in hell, honestly, for reals. Why the hell did he have to call my dad? Like, I don't understand. Do I have to understand and be the person that understands every fucking thing, you know? So he called my dad because he wasn't ready as a car insurance guy, and then he knows that my dad has the insurance, and then my name was on there when my name wasn't even on there on the damn insurance actually, you know? So I don't know what my dad's even talking about. First of all, I didn't see my name on that, you know? So Kim Jong-soo's the guy that failed basically as my insurance guy, if I am correct with what I'm saying here. Literally, yeah. So anyways, that's what happened. And my dad was freaking out over nothing, honestly. Oh man, I'm tired. Whew. I had a dream too. Martin Luther King Jr. My dream is mind control to never happen to children and women and husbands and men and women of color and non-colored, all kinds of people, you know. That kind of dream. You know what I'm saying? Mr. MLK Jr. What about Malcolm X, you know? He didn't understand. Malcolm X didn't know that, you know, God is of love, even for Islam, obviously. And then went at people, you know, the Black Panther or whatever they're called. And then he changed his ways. And then, you know, joining a gang kind of thing, trying to get out of the gang is kind of tough, you know. Kind of feels, you know, if that makes sense. And then they killed him. They murdered him, basically. Was he even, I don't know if he was the founder of the Black Panther. But if he was, that is hardcore, you know. There are ways. That's why I'm careful with what I join, basically. Ben Luciferians. Oh, hail Lucifer. Anyways. God. I'm tired. I don't feel good. Ooh, man. This dip is making my body feel ill. Alright, I gotta go. I gotta eat something. I haven't eaten anything all day. So anyways, make sure, guys, 3 things I always, who knows? Who knows? Only Squidward knows. Subscribe, like, and comment. Alright, bye.